right. Aloha and welcome to the Own the Outcome podcast. My name is Tyler Devereaux, and today I'm here with Jason Wojo. What's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
What's your real last name?
Wojo.
Say it again.
Wojo. It's Polish.
Polish. Damn. Jason Wojo, smart. I love it, bro. Thank you for being here, man.
Yeah, of course, dude.
For those of you who don't know who Jason is, put your seatbelt on. You're going to learn a ton today, man. He is a digital marketing creator, paid ads, just freaking beast. He's going to walk you through some of that, but I'll let you get into some of your background. Let's start there, actually, dude. Like, tell me a little bit about your background, your come up.
Yeah. I started my journey 6 years ago. I went to culinary school originally.
How old are you, by the way?
I was 19. No, I was 19 going to be 20.
When you started it?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
And I was living in New York, and I was working at a cafe, making $5 an hour, small stuff. My boss told me to go to culinary school. I had no self-awareness at the time, so I went to culinary school. Dude, I don't cook to this very day. Like, I have no idea how to cook. I went there just to be more sociable. Like, I didn't have a lot of social skills. So, went to college, dropped out within a year. I started flipping Pokemon cards on the internet.
Okay.
And that's how I started seeing, like, ads and things on eBay. And then I started going on YouTube and finding cool tricks and tips for it. Wind up moving back home. Went to business school for 3 years at Mount St. Mary College back in Newburgh, New York. And then I was still flipping cards. And then I saw an ad one day for Ty Lopez's SMMA course.
Okay, yeah.
Bought that for $9.97. Started doing, like, local business work with, like, restaurants and barbershops, $300 a month, $200
Back
a
up
month.
real quick. When you did the $9.97 was that like a stretch for you at that point?
Yeah, dude, I was making $800 like every 2 weeks, I think, at my jobs. I was working at Staples. I was working as an assistant at New York Life Insurance.
Okay.
And then I did like a website redesign for a financial firm. And I was doing these things all at the same time. And like I wasn't getting paid much. I was getting like $9 an hour, $10 an hour. And then once taxes came out, dude, I was left with like nothing. So it was just like, you know, I was just learning. And I started working with these barbershops and getting all these clients. And then I bought my first Canon camera, started upgrading the content for the clients. And then I saved some money. And then my dad came to me and he was like, all right, you're about to get out of college. You got to move out. And I was like, all right, you know, like, I mean, I don't really have a place yet. He's like, yeah, but then you have to just pay us rent then if you need time. And I was like, honestly, man, I'm not going to pay you $600 a month. Yeah. That's what he wanted. And I was like, you just came up with these random numbers. So I said no, and then literally I went on Facebook Marketplace, and I found a room in a college house in Oviedo.
Okay.
And literally FaceTimed him. His name's Steven. And FaceTime, I was like, dude, like, I need this room. Like, I'm going to drive down tomorrow. He's like, whoa, I need to do a background check. I'm like, no, dude, here's my Instagram. I'm not weird. Like, just I'm driving there tomorrow. He's like, all right, fine, just Venmo me the first month. And I did, and I drove down the next day. And then, dude, I started my life, and that was it.
Moved in the next day?
Moved in the next day. I left at 4 a.m. the next day, and I just drove, like, it was like 15-something hours. And then I got there, like, 12-ish. Dude, I was so tired. But, like, yeah, dude. And then I just started, like, grinding and just getting more clients in Oviedo. And I was getting a couple cafes there. And then, dude, like, things just kind of snowballed from there.
Were you doing paid ads for them, or were you doing more organic growth?
I was doing more organic. Then I was doing, like, boost posts. Like, really small stuff at the time. Like, I didn't understand, like, the back-end ads manager stuff. I didn't know all that. Yeah,
okay,
it was just,
how did you learn? Because now let's highlight a little bit. How much revenue have you brought in from paid ads or from your ads period?
So I haven't updated in a while, but last time I checked, ours was like 125 million across all of our clients, which is in like 90+ niches and verticals.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's across all the platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. Yeah.
If you didn't hear that, over 100 million. And across different verticals, which means it's not just a niche, like meaning a niche of an industry that you tapped into. Mm-hmm. You have a system that works across multiple industries. Yeah. Which is powerful.
Yeah. After like doing so many different niches, man, I just kind of like built this behavioral like adaptability to different niches. Like, what's a good offer here? What's a good offer there? Like, I could just spitball offers all day. Okay. So that's something that really helps a ton. A lot of people focus on the ad too much, or like, oh, my niche is this, or my competitor's doing this. I'm like, dude, your competitor has a different offer. That's why they're actually making more money than you are. It's not about the ad.
Okay, so bro, I love this. Why does the offer outweigh the ad?
Because you could say, like, let's say you're running an e-com store, and you could say, hey, like, my product will get you whiter teeth in as little as 8 minutes. Or you could say, hey, you can get whiter teeth in as little as 8 minutes, and you could buy one, get one free. You just offer stack. Like offer stacking is actually what gets people to buy, because the sales cycle, you want the sales cycle to be shorter, which means that your offer just has to be more impulse and irresistible. But
Say
people
that
get that
again.
twisted
You want the sales cycle to be shorter.
because your ad spend gets, obviously more ROAS,
Yeah.
and then you want your
What's
offer to be
ROAS mean?
more.
Let them know what ROAS means.
Return on ad spend. Yeah. So the offer then becomes more impulsive and irresistible, to where like it's a one-click buy, not like a 7 clicks, retargeting, and then buy. You're stretching your ad dollar too much to where your LTV goes down when you could just convert them faster and get them as a customer. Also, what people don't realize is that like breaking even on a customer is actually a good thing. People are so mad about that. It's crazy.
Why is it a good thing? I love this, man, because I agree with this. And I can even get into details of how we do the same thing. But why is it a good thing?
Because if you don't get the customer, someone else is.
That's
and
it.
like Dan Kennedy always said this, the person who pays the most for a customer wins. And people still miss that. They're like, well, Wojo, like we have to profit. We have to make money. I'm like, no, that's because your back end and your ascension is trash.
Exactly.
And those are things that people don't think about, because building that out is hard. So like for the longest time, man, everybody wants to run ads because it's click, publish, make money. But what people don't want to do is actually build a business and have good leadership and have a team and have systems. Like that's actually what a business is.
That's it. I really look at a business in 3 basic phases, man. You have a phase where you're promoting to get feedback, right? You're just promoting, paying money to get leads, and then you're getting feedback. The whole time you're getting feedback from these customers of like, improve this, improve this, improve this, improve this, and you're improving. Then you get to a point where you're improving to the point where you don't have, I mean, you're always going to be making improvements, but the major stuff has been done. So now you can actually scale, which is phase 2. Well, so step 2 is then improve, improve, improve. Step 3 is scale.
Yeah.
And when you're in step 3 and you've had all this feedback, you've now improved the situation. Now, dude, you can pay more than the other person can pay, because you know that because you took the time to do phase 2, improve, people are going to continue to renew over and over and over and over again. So you can go negative for a customer because you know that on the back end they're going to renew, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, and that's why I run a lot of low ticket digital product funnels, because the low ticket digital product funnels, I can break even and self liquidate. Even if I self liquidate half the money, I still have more leads coming through the door who know what I offer and what I do.
Yeah.
So it's like yeah, you can run free webinars. That's cool, but then you got to wait 7 days to have the webinar or 14 days to have the webinar. I want someone to buy something from me today, take a couple upsells, go to a thank you page, then book a call because they've spent money. I don't want people to book a call because it's free, right? The only things that I'll run are free events, but like free lead magnets, I don't do that anymore. Like, oh, take this free PDF or a case study. I'm like, no, that's trash, because it hits their email and they don't even like open it. It's just
That's
curiosity.
So true. Shit, dude.
Dude, even with low ticket, man, like we sell a lot of low ticket products and people buy the thing and don't even open it sometimes. And they'll spend $100 after upsells and downsells, and they get to the end and they don't even activate anything. And I'm like, you just spent like $100 and something bucks, you didn't open it, and then you're complaining why you're broke. And I'm just like, huh, interesting. And like, dude, it's just hard.
So what's your? I'm curious about this, because I do free lead magnets, like as you say that. But you are so right, dude. It's like the conversion on those is actually very challenging, because it hits their inbox. Their inbox is full of
It's full of other shit, yeah.
Now we'll have some drip campaigns that go in after to try to continue to just, and that's great.
Yeah, the only way that I'll run free lead magnets is if I pull the phone number and I have an appointment setter calling within 5 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
That's the best way that I'll run it. But like a lot of people don't have that. They just have this thing where it's like grab the case study, go read it, and you expect them to read 8 pages, and it's like the friction there is just like, yeah, you build a list, but you have to have the list sell them something else. So it's like, hey, you grab this free lead magnet, but like, what else do you want? You want this low ticket? You want to come to an event? You want to hop on this live Zoom I'm doing tonight? Like whatever that thing looks like, you can't just expect the lead magnet to turn into money. So
Okay,
like having that sales process is important.
I'm gonna ask you a question. This could be or maybe it's not a tough question. Probably isn't a tough question for you, because I can see like you're sharp, dude. Like you've had a couple ads go viral, like a couple of your videos go viral, and I think that there's some polarizing stuff with them. I remember one of them was, you pull up in a McLaren?
Yeah, that was the Toyota Corolla one.
Okay, yeah.
Where
yeah.
I was like, oh, like if you pull up to the gym with a Corolla, and then I pull up to the gym with a McLaren, like obviously, like I'm gonna win. Like that was the whole
Win
angle.
meaning
Dude,
how?
I pissed so many people off. By
You're
the way,
gonna win how? What do you mean?
oh, I would like take their girl.
Yeah.
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 And it's like, dude, it's funny because people sided with that even people who were gym rats, and then the other side of gym rats were like, nah, dude, you're an idiot. Like, I want muscles. And dude, it's just so funny.
So I bring that up because, like, there's polarizing, which is beautiful. But, bro, you have lots of depth to you. You're very sharp. Like, I'm just talking to you off camera.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's not.
Dude, you grab the attention in the front end. The only thing I've ever learned from Gary Vee is day trade attention. And then everything else after that is just brand, and then you're building upon it. So it's like, okay, yeah, I could be controversial. Like, I'm not going to lie. We lost like 3 to 5 clients from that video. But, like, I don't care. Like, you're not going to change my lifestyle. 3 to 5 clients, whatever. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
The after effects of that have been nuts.
Yeah.
Like, dude, the people who are at the top, like the 1%ers, like, we all appreciate videos like that because we know what we're doing and they know that I'm a marketer.
The strategy.
But all the people who are like, you know, on the bottom and not doing much, like, they hate that stuff.
Tell me this. Your mic, I remember your mic was like, was it taped on?
Yeah, that was all planned. I did that.
I was going to ask you.
I did that all on purpose because I was saying stuff about having a McLaren, which I have, but then I have a thing taped to my chest. So they're like, oh, you're broke. You have a thing taped. I'm like, dude, I'm just looking for comments.
Yeah.
Like, I'm building engagement.
Dude. It's a pattern interrupt. People don't expect to see. Like, one of my best performing ads is me on a beach with a whiteboard. And it's just a pattern interrupt. People don't expect to see a whiteboard on a beach. And so, like, it gauges attention, right? But I say that because it's so much more than just gauging the attention. There is a system with your process and how you do it. So if you were to look at it from a 60,000 foot view, right? You have your ad, your conversion, your backend. What would those elements be? That framework, if you will, be that people, like, if somebody's listening to this, and they're like, man, I want to start running some paid ads. What things do I need to put in place to make sure that those are, aside from like the, dude, who to target and all that kind of stuff, but what things do you need to have actually in place?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest things is, number one is like, what's your front end offer? Because your front end offer dictates the rest of the sales process. So like, whatever you push on the front end, you have to think about where you actually make your money, which is obviously on the back end, right? The front end offer gets people in.
Yeah.
So you have a good front end offer. Now we have to focus on touch points. It's like, how do we touch those people to make more buying decisions? Is it in person? Is it events? Is it an appointment setter? Is it a sales rep? Like, you need to have those systems. When you do systems like that, you also need good leadership to make sure that KPIs are being driven. And then also you need email, because email is this selling ecosystem. It's like basically what I call it, how you surround the customer, just like around the internet, and you make sure, like, either through browse abandonment or a welcome sequence or whatever it looks like, you're swarming them. And then you have retargeting. And then you have your social presences, which is like, how many times are you posting a day on all the platforms, so that you can take all those views, retarget those buyers, or retarget those lead magnets, or retarget the people on free events. Like, it's literally just you're swarming the prospect around the internet. And then also the thing that I think people miss out on is an ascension team. Like, they're so focused on front end sales, but little do they realize that there needs to be a connect between front end sales and ascending to high ticket. So what does that look like? That's a CSM or customer success management team, or somebody who's ascending them and bridging the gap. So like, those are the things that I look for in a business. Like, you could drive as much front end traffic as you want, but if they're not going to buy anything else, then there's really no point. Like, yeah, you could break even all day and run the business that way, but like, you're going to break even. You're not really bringing profit. So and dude, like, entrepreneurship is evolving, right? 3-4 years ago, you could run a low ticket funnel and you could run a course funnel and make money and sit behind the scenes. But now you have to have a real business. Like, now you have to have all these components.
Bro, yes, man. I don't know if you know, do you know the Morrisons, Adrian Morrison, Anthony Morrison? Okay, so I'm close with them. Especially, well, both of them, but I'm close with them. Did affiliate marketing, and it was great. And they still crush in affiliate marketing, but they have an actual business on the back end too. When I started with them, dude, it was like, I mean, I'm just running affiliate campaigns, no real business on the back end. And dude, it was awesome. But then there was like a shift that happened that if you're going to do that, you actually have to, and I had no idea how to do it, you know?
Yeah, dude, it's tough.
They did, but I didn't tap into that knowledge with them.
I think they just leveraged a lot more data too. Like, they were in the game for a while.
Dude, Anthony's been around for so long.
They've been in the game for over, I'm pretty sure, 8 to 10 years in the affiliate space.
Like, more
least.
than that, bro.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think of when, but yes, they've been around for a long time. Anthony's been around for a long time. He's done, but they're awesome. So what you just went through so fast, like, people are like, if they're driving, they're like, what the fuck? You got to rewind. I want you to really rewind and go re-listen, because he just gave you a framework of, do really like your business, like your business and the funnel behind it, which is freaking powerful. Because
yeah,
go ahead.
You know what's funny too is that when you push that stuff on the front end, like, for example, right, if I ran ads saying, hey, let me build your back end, let me build your systems, dude, no one's opting in for that.
Yeah.
Because it's boring.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, but I have to say ads to appeal to them. So it's like, that's the biggest piece too about the front end. I want people to understand is that you have to give them the front end of what's sexy. Like, you sell them what they want and then you give them what they need. That's the thing I've always done with all my offers. Just sell them what they want, give them what they need, and then you walk them through the customer journey. That's how you make more money. But people
Sell
are always
them what they want, give them what they need.
Yeah. It's like, dude, if there's a guy and he is struggling at dating, let's say, and he's not the nicest looking dude, what do we actually like sell him? We sell him a Lambo or something. We don't just like give this guy dating coaching and making a longer process. We just give him a nicer car and he'll fix his dating life pretty quick. Like, that's just what I truly believe in. Like, we're selling people the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like,
That's funny, bro.
Yeah.
That's funny. So you offer, so this is what you do. You build these. So when you go into a business, these businesses that contract with you to help build their campaigns, do you look at that whole structure that they have?
yeah.
And
So
okay.
we're looking at the front end. We're looking at what traffic sources they're running. We're looking at who's on the back end of that. We're looking at, let's say we sell a product. Who's calling them? Is there appointment setters? Is there a sales closer? Okay, cool. Now they're activated. Now they're getting sold something else. But like, what happens back there? What's the price points? What's the deliverables? Could you have a mastermind? Like, what things can you develop on the back end so you could just, second money is the easiest.
Yeah.
So you might as well just have something else in the back end and formulate a new product.
See, what you're a master at, I can already tell, is asking the right questions. Because it's all about asking questions. People will sit down, and I am one of these, bros. Like, I will sit down and I'll be like, all full tilt, let's go. But I haven't thought through the other questions. So Rowan in here is my COO, and she's very good, almost too good at asking the backup questions. And then my marketers, same thing, to help me understand the full picture. Because marketing isn't just gauging the interest. Marketing, the whole scheme of it is all of it. It's getting the interest, getting the conversion, what's on the back end. It's all of that process, right? So sometimes with Rowan, like, I have this idea, and I just want to run with this idea. But I just had a meeting with her last week, and I'm like riffing on this idea that I have and what we could do. And she starts asking me more detailed questions. I was like, bro, I haven't thought through that shit. Like, you're taking the wind out of my sails right now. Hey, this is the idea, but then you have to have those questions on the back end. Yeah. So you sit down with a customer, a client that's coming in, and if they don't have those gaps filled, how many of them actually have those gaps filled?
Dude, maybe 20% of them. The other 80% are just missing out money because they've been comfortable making organic money for so long. And when they start to run paid ads, they're like, oh, I've made 20, 30K a month forever on organic. And I'm like, dude, I'll be honest, it's not a lot of money. Second of all, you need to have stuff in the back end, because what if your organic shuts down one day? What if your accounts are gone? What if your email list gets banned? Or what if you have to move your ESP? Like, what if all these things happen? They don't think about that, though, because they're so focused on making money, retaining it. They want to stay a solopreneur. They want to, like, enjoy the profits. That's boring. Like, build a team and be a leader.
Yeah.
It's just
Build
crazy,
a team
dude.
and be a leader. Okay, so I want to talk about this side of it too, because there's this transition for you, obviously, that went from just running ads and whatever in a college dorm room to, dude, you're an actual leader, business owner, and you're how old now?
26.
I mean, bro, it's awesome. It's just incredible, the journey. The title of the podcast is Own the Outcome Podcast. Own the outcome, because the successes are great, man. But I know, dude, you don't get to where you're at the age that you're at, without trials, struggles, problems, doubts, fears, whatever. And so owning the outcome to me, well, actually, maybe I'll ask you that question first. When I say own the outcome, what does that mean to you?
To me, it means whatever result you're looking for, you have to own the trials and errors of doing it. You have to own the spending of the money and paying the invoices you don't want to pay to get the outcome that you've wanted.
Oh, bro, yeah. Say the quote that's on your IG. I actually love that quote.
Everyone's an entrepreneur until the invoice comes. Dude, I'm getting a trademark right now. It takes forever to get trademarked, but dude, everybody loves that. It was funny because we were in an Airbnb in Miami last week. And I'm not going to lie, like, I don't usually complain about customer service stuff. I'm pretty laid back. But, like, dude, the floors were dirty. It was kind of gross. And, like, I messaged him. I was like, dude, like, is there anything you could do? And he's like, oh, we could discuss a partial refund. I was like, I mean, dude, like, I had attendees coming over the house, and, like, the floor's dirty. The water tasted terrible. I don't know what was going on in this house. And I was like, dude, it's just a bad look for us. Yeah. And you know how he responds? Everyone's an entrepreneur until the invoice comes.
No.
He knew who I was before I entered the Airbnb.
No.
And I was like, bro, you got to be kidding me. So I sent the screenshot to all my sales guys in the group chat, and we were dying laughing. We were dying.
Oh,
but, dude, people are starting to see it.
Yeah.
Like, it's all over, dude. And I got T-shirts, and, like, I released it one day. Dude, I had, like, 44 people buy a T-shirt in, like, an hour.
So good.
It still makes money organically, but, like, dude, that quote is going to change it. Like, it's over.
It is so true, bro. There was just a post that you posted the other day that really this person just hit a struggle, and then that's natural in any business, dude. And then I see just the complaints and the blame. It's like, it's
But
crazy.
here's the thing that I've unraveled is that people like struggling. They enjoy it because they get attention from people who are just as broke as they are.
Say it again. That's exactly it.
People like having the attention from other broke people so they can share the same situation. They like the struggle. They enjoy it. Because if they have to make money, they then leave the people behind who gave them the love and attention that they seeked.
And they're nervous.
Yeah.
And
Like, dude, that's the truest thing I've seen over the years. Like, I've had friends who I used to live in New York with who I've offered sales jobs to. And I'm like, dude, like, come work for me. You'll make 8 to 12K a month. It's easier. You come to free live events. It's basically a fucking layup. It's not hard. And you could sell. And they're like, nah, dude, like, I have a daughter, I have this. I'm like, dude, you're taking on, I talked about this on my Instagram story this morning. You take on obligations that you really don't need at the moment because you want to be distracted from figuring out the real problems that you need to find real solutions for. And dude, that's what I did 2 years ago. Like, I'm not perfect. Like, I had 2 girlfriends. I got a dog. I got a cheaper apartment.
2 girlfriends.
Dude, I did all these things because I was like, hey, like, I made money. And now I want to find other parts of my life. But it was really me that was still the problem. Like, I had a self-identity problem of, like, dude, I got a cheaper apartment in Orlando because I didn't want to give these women this, like, easy way out. Like, I actually downgraded my lifestyle because I was insecure about how much money I was making so that they didn't feel like they could take advantage of me. I was actually scared about that. But the real problem is that I just didn't have enough self-belief. Like, I was having problems internally that I had to figure out, childhood traumas and shit like that. But people don't want to solve that. It's kind of like the ad to back end piece.
Yeah.
You want to just solve the ads, but the back end piece is the hardest part. You don't want to solve it. The same thing with self-identity. It's just, dude, it goes all around. But that's why the 1% is the 1%. Not everybody can make money.
That's so good. What you just said is so good, bro. And there's so much truth to it. And if people will really just hone in on that with what you just said and really just think about it for a second, it'll change their life. It'll absolutely change their life because that is where the true growth comes. People want the strategy, the tip, the hack. The strategy, the tip, the hack is improve here.
Yeah.
You improve here, the rest of the stuff is.
And with
golden.
people who are at the top, dude, you can take tips and tricks from people.
Yeah.
Like, if I ask you what's better for you for events, YouTube or Facebook, and you tell me, then that will help me because I've already proven how to make money. But if you're starting from zero, you want the tip or trick, and the tip or trick isn't going to help you.
That's great to recognize too, dude.
And, like, you have to go through all the hard stuff to get the big wins. But people are looking for that fast thing. Like, dude, like, real estate's a great game. Wholesaling's awesome. Yeah. But if you're lazy and you have no common sense, nothing's going to actually happen for you.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, you can make a wholesale deal and get a 15K commission. Sick. But if you don't have a work ethic and you don't have common sense, it's not going to work.
Yes, that's it. You're not going to scale it and repeat it.
Yeah.
You might get lucky a couple times, but then it's going to – so your demons will come. So I'm question with your self-identity piece. What did that look like for you? You realize that it's a self-identity piece. There's some traumas there. And really I look at trauma as just something that happened in our past that we never solved. That then it stays with you as trauma.
And then, dude, that turned into the third year I was in business was I was hiring all my friends to work in the business because I needed people around me who loved and appreciated me before I was, sufficing them in income and all this stuff. That went south because you don't hire your friends in business. So that caused a lot of payroll issues, overspending, letting people get the best of me, stuff like that, dude. And those things really took a toll on me too because I was so busy trying to keep my friends because when I was younger, I didn't have a lot of friends. Like, I was very, introverted.
Yeah.
So I was too busy playing video games and, doing things on my own and working 3 jobs that I didn't have time for friends. Like, I didn't have time for women. I didn't have time for all these things. So I was basically at some point in my life, buying friends.
Yeah.
And it's terrible, dude. It's toxic. And then that's when I had to get rid of my old ops manager. And then I brought in my new one, who's now my CEO. And we basically fired 75% of the staff. He rehired, and now we're killing it. And it's good. But I had to get out of the business because my zone of genius was offers and ads and like being the visionary. It wasn't hiring and dealing with people.
Yeah, bro. That's it. So, and was it hard for you to own that at that point? Like, because A type personality, which I know you are, I am as well. Most of the 1%, 1%ers are. It's like you just want to do it all.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's just a control problem too.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time when I was a kid, I was trying to control all the things that I couldn't, which was my parents' income or trying to get rich or like, it's just some things you just can't control, and you overemphasize and you over distract yourself trying to control the things that you can't control, and it's just a bad pinwheel. It's terrible.
Bro. It is I can relate to it so much, man. The control piece that you just said, like when my life, I know when I feel like my life is out of control because I'll start to hone in on like the stupidest things. Like I'm OCD, and when things are going great, that OCD tames down a lot. But when things start to get a little awry, I start to fucking hone in on the shit that I can control, like this piece on my desk, positioned perfectly.
Dude, it's tough.
The stupidest things, right? But I recognize it because I put in a lot of self-work with it. But the reality is the control piece, the limits that you're going to have on your business, anybody out there, the limits they're going to have on their business is all on, or the growth, your potential growth is all on how comfortable you are with relinquishing control.
Yeah.
The more control that you can give up, the more ability you're going to be able to have to scale. But it's when do you give up that control and to who, huh?
Oh, yeah. And like I just was the one who was saying to myself, oh, I built this all.
Yeah.
So like, why do I want to hand it off to somebody? Like I built the whole thing. And I don't want to give it up. I did all this work. I took all this time. Like I built the thing. But then what I didn't realize is that you don't scale by just having more control. You scale with people. Like, yeah, you could run more ads. Yeah, that's cool. But like at some point it's going to break if you don't have the right people behind you and you don't have the right leadership. So with that being said, like that's a huge phase I had to go through, which was like paying people what they're worth. That's another problem I see with business owners, that they pay people the minimum they think that they can spend. But spending an extra $2-3 grand a month on somebody who's smarter and better is going to be a lot more beneficial for you, ROI positive, and also more KPI driven. So like those things I had to learn the hard way. When you could pay, people try to go on Upwork and spend $1,000 a month on somebody, $2,000 a month on somebody. Dude, pay an executive or a past executive $6, $7, $8, even $10,000 a month, and you'll get real people in your business.
Real solid people.
Real solid people. Yeah. Biggest thing we've been learning recently is we're going to stop hiring people who are below 30.
Yeah.
We stopped that because people below 30 don't have a lot of obligations. Like they're still immature. Dude, I can't tell you enough. Oh my God.
Which is so funny because you're below 30.
Yeah. How many people who are below 30 who are not adults? Yeah. I can't tell you enough how many guys that we interview or gals who say to me, well, I have kids. I am an adult. I'm like, no, you're taking on the wrong responsibilities. Just because you have kids in an apartment doesn't mean you're an adult. It's about your character, your personality, how driven you are, your experience, like how many sacrifices you've made. It doesn't matter what you take on. No, you're taking on the wrong things. That doesn't mean you're an adult. It means that you're distracted. And that's one thing that my mentor, Jason Capital, always said to me. He's like, dude, people are not stupid or lazy. They're distracted.
And intentionally a lot of the times. Well,
yes.
Consciously or subconsciously distracted. And you nailed it right in the very beginning. It's we get distracted on things that are going to keep us comfortable. Things that feed the narrative that we have, right?
Dude, it's crazy. Yeah.
So how do you play on that? Question, like, do you play on that with your ads? Like, that people love comfort, love this kind of drama, or drama for sure. Like,
oh, dude, they love drama. Drama drives revenue, regardless of what niche. Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, I don't condone this, but like the times where people have made the most money is when there is controversy between two names. Like when two people go back and forth, there are now people who are like, oh, like, is this guy right or is this guy right? And they're both in the same niche. Are they correct? And then they're just bicker, and then you're driving revenue both ways because you both have a good product or service. You just need to make the best point. Like, dude, controversy just sells because what's on the news? What's everywhere around us?
Yep.
Nothing positive.
Yep.
So it's like, I'm not telling you to go say stupid things on camera. I'm simply saying if you have a point and you believe in your product or service, then stand up for it.
Stand up for it.
That's it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying go on camera and say bold stuff, but like if you have something you believe in, then go on camera and say it and put your money where your mouth is. Like, that's it.
And that's a big thing. Like, it's easy to do that behind closed doors with some buddies, but to put yourself out there to the world, it's different. Because there's going to be backlash with your buddies, the people that have confirmation bias, that like they believe the same shit you believe. Well, that's easy. But you put yourself out there and you really hold to it, well, it's going to challenge yourself too.
And it's hard to get people to believe in things when you've been through it, but you know it's the right answer.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's so tough, dude. I try so hard with people, and I'm just like, it's exhausting sometimes. And number two is, like, I can't teach you something if you're not open to hearing about it.
Yeah, that has been one of my biggest, like, dude, my biggest learning lessons. I mentioned that I see this post the other day, and this post has a bunch of likes and comments, and it's really just people feeding the victim type mentality. I go and I look at all the other posts on the page. There's like 2 likes, 4 comments. It's like all of them. This one blows up because of the negativity, right? But what's crazy is exactly this. Like, literally, it's just feeding. It is feeding the. It's feeding the excuses to why you aren't where you want to be. And that's a theme in life. And you can teach people strategies, tactics, like we talked about. But people change when they decide that they want to change. You know, I've heard people say, like, you can't change somebody, you can't convince somebody's mind. And I hate that. Because I'm like, man, what? But in reality, you can't. And it's been a learning lesson for me. I can't change somebody's mind. I can't, I can't make somebody change. Somebody has to want to change.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, too, for me was that I think the only way people really learn is through trauma. Like, you have to let people kind of lose on their own. Like, yeah, we sell products and services and coaching and consulting that helps people drive past break points or problems in their business or their lives. But, like, the only way people are going to learn is through trauma. Yeah. Dude, that's really it. It's like, when I was a kid, my traumas were around me just being too alone and, like, just trying to figure out where I best fit and people doubting me. Those were my traumas. And I drove that by saying, like, okay, why is no one listening to me? Like, no one wants to listen to what I have to say. So how am I going to get people to listen to me? I got to get rich. And then people will listen to me. And that was my trauma. And, like, it works, obviously. But, like, it's at the same time, it's other people's trauma is around finances or family or health or wellness and all these things. It's like, you need to go through some type of rough patch in your life to know what's right and what's wrong. Because we could tell people all day, hey, don't do that. Like, don't make that mistake. Yeah. And they do it anyway. And then they learn, and then they're mad, and then they blame you because you didn't save them, but you didn't want to listen. Yeah. It's like...
Bro, facts. Oh, that's such a fact. Okay, so you said the trauma was being alone, so nobody's listening to me, so I got to make money. I got to get rich. And then people will listen, and that's true. But then there was, I can already tell just from, like, the other side of the story that we talked about, then there's a point where that wasn't enough.
Yeah,
right?
It wasn't, no. Because then I was just like, all right, like, I made money, but, like, yeah, people are listening to me, but, like, I have no one around me that actually cares now about where I'm headed. So that's when I had to develop the leader mindset of, like, okay, like, how do I become a leader that people now want to follow?
So how did you do that?
Dude, that was tough. That honestly came just through, like, more hiring experiences and having core values and having missions and having KPIs and, like, having a plan for where we wanted the company to go. And those are all the things that are boring that no one wants to do. Yeah. So it's like, oh, people just sit there all day and they're like, oh, I'm just going to hire people. We'll just grow a team. I'm like, dude, if people don't want to be a part of what you're building, then no one's going to care. Yep. Like, no one cares. Then it's just a job. It's not this thing that they're motivated to be a part of, that they're willing to, like, dude, we have people who work with us and they go past 5. They go past 6 o'clock. Yep. They're excited about where we're headed. Like, that's when you know you're building a real team.
That's it. I actually just had a conversation with one of my team members yesterday, bro. We talk about owning the outcome, right? And that never changes. Like, that's a constant battle. This conversation I had was, we actually talked about what you just said, staying after hours. I was like, man, listen, I'm just we're just having a conversation. It's very informal. I was like, in the beginning, man, I felt like anybody and everybody would just, like, do whatever was needed. It didn't matter. Whatever was needed. Like, people just wanted to pitch in and do it. And look how much growth and trajectory we saw. And then what I said, I said, then entitlement set in. And when entitlement set in, now people only want to do the extra effort if there's something on the back end of that, like something like literally an immediate result to the end of the extra effort. In reality, in my mind, I'm like, that's just entitlement. And I think that there is a mix of that. But then the comment that was said was, she was like, well, can can I tell you a different perspective? And I was like, yeah. She's like, in the beginning, you were talking about the mission and the vision all the time, like literally all the time. And it was energizing and it was exciting. And it was like, dude, it was amazing. So that's why people did that. She's like, you don't talk about it as much. I know that to the whole. I talk about it, but not to the whole, right? I talk about it really to my leadership team. And this person was not in my leadership team. And she's like, but does that really translate down? And I was like, wow. It was eye-opening for me, bro. Because when you talk about the mission, when you talk about the vision, when you talk about the impact, listen, money is a driver. People want to make money. Cool.
Yeah.
And it's a necessity. They need to make money.
They also want security.
Yeah. Security.
Yeah.
And impact, dude. It's like impact. People want to make impact. And so if you're, whatever you're doing, if it's not helping provide those basic needs of security, necessity, impact, you're going to struggle with the growth process.
Yeah.
Struggle. It was an eye-opener for me. That literally just happened yesterday.
Yeah, dude. And then, like, the other thing, too, is that when we started pushing out the events, people got more excited about being a part of it. Because they started to see the in-person connection, and we started flying team members in for the events. They saw what we were doing in person. They were more excited. They're like, dude, like, we're actually getting people in a room who want to be a part of our business.
The community, yeah.
Not just this online stuff where people comment and like and reshare. It's just like this like, unfragile thing. It's just the online stuff.
Yeah.
But building a business outside of the online world was what people want to be a part of because we're losing human connection more than ever.
Yep.
We got to bring it back.
I love that you're doing some live events because that's my bread and butter. That's what we do. And I struggle with the virtual events because I love the human connection. Like, I'll go, bro, and I'll do a live event for 3 days, whatever, nonstop, just full days. I don't get tired. I don't get tired because of the connection. So I have a question with that. Because you mentioned that you were very introverted growing up. And now you put yourself in a position, especially if you're doing live events, you can't be that way.
Yeah. I had to learn that the hard way. Like, speaking on stage was a little bit rough for me in the beginning, I'm not going to lie. But then I just got used to it because the material was native to me. So because I was passionate about the material, I got past the humps of speaking.
Because you were passionate about the material, you got past the humps of speaking.
Yeah. Like, if I didn't know what I was talking about, I would still be insecure about it. Which means that, like, you really don't know the material anyway, so you shouldn't be up there talking.
Yes.
So it's like, now that I know the material and I know what I'm talking about and I have all these data points and all these things, when I go up on stage, dude, I can just spitball everything. Like, It's just easy. It's just consistent. So that's what made it easier. Also, man, the thing I realized, too, is, like, if I'm not up on stage talking, then where else am I an authority? Nowhere else. Yeah, dude, online's cool, but, like, you don't have that masculine presence in front of people. Like, they're not taking pictures of you in front of the stage and sharing you on their stories. They're not doing all those things that actually build massive brand and reach.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot more efficient.
For sure. When did you start doing the live events?
I've been running live events for like 3-4 years now, but I didn't run them like we do now. I ran one every 4 months, and then it became one every 2 months, then it became one a month, then it became one a week.
Okay, I want everybody to hear that transition process, because people want, this is the problem with the world we live in. It's like people see you now. They see me now. They want that now. The hours and the progress and the trajectory they got there, there's a lot of shit that goes in before that.
Dude, yeah.
Like,
it was all about finding venues. It was all about having a better offer, having a better landing page, having the right slides, having the right breakout rooms, having all the, role play and stuff in the front of the room. And, like, what do we serve them? What's a better drink to serve? Dude, all these things we had to test. And then having the team do the RSVPs, call, what's the system, what's the script? Like, dude, it took so much time and energy. And, like, I still don't have it all figured out yet. And it's like, I'm just still open to learning. Like, if something I'm doing wrong, I'm open to hearing about it.
Yeah. That's what's beautiful, though, is you'll never figure it out. Like, there's always something to improve. I just believe that. The minute that you get too comfortable in it is the minute somebody else passes you up.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I do tons of events. I've been doing lots of events for a long time. But then I go to a Tony event, and I'm like, this is the next level.
Dude,
like,
Grant Cardone was the one for me.
Yeah?
Bro. Oh, my God. I went to a Grant Cardone event, and it was the most insane thing ever. 107 salespeople on the floor. One sales rep for every 7 people in the room. They made like $15 million in 3 days.
Wow.
And
What
I was
event
like,
this?
it was the business boot camp. Dude, they have products from $5K to $450,000. I bought the $400,000 one. I got, dude, the monthly payments are nuts on it. But, like,
So what do they do with you on that?
It's an Elite 125. So it's a 15-month done for you.
Okay.
Where they put their entire team into your business. They do all your KPIs. They do all your financial sheets. They do hiring. They set up all your they do all this stuff. Like, I'm still getting in the ropes of it.
That's cool.
And then you get in Brennan Dawson's inner circle. You get all these workshops. You get 12 workshops, leadership, marketing,
Is he really the
people.
one who runs it, Dawson? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So like you get in their circle, and then like, dude, just the connections, bro. It wasn't even about the program. It was about being in the room with all these guys. Like, dude, all the people in those rooms, by the way, they're all making 10, 20, 30 million a year or more. Some of them are making 100 million a year. And like, these are real business owners that are running real operations. That's who I want to be in the same room with.
100%. So just what you mentioned there, there's so much power in proximity and being in the room and just seeing things at a whole nother level. You know, like I went to a little mastermind with Cardone, and it was invite-only mastermind, and it was, dude, our tagline is think bigger, you know? But then I see Cardone and the way he thinks. And then I'm in this room with a bunch of people that they think at just a different level. That shit's inspiring, dude.
Dude, it is.
And it forces you to expand. That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful. I just had Levi, his last name's tough to say, but he told me how to say it. Now I can't freaking remember.
Levi. That name rings
Levi,
a bell.
bro, damn it. I'm sorry. But he told me he actually mentioned that you were going to be on here, and he mentioned that you had done that, and I totally forgot until you just said that. But has it been worth it?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
All the things that you just mentioned, the KPIs, the systems to put in,
dude, all the connections and networking is huge.
Dude,
like I'm going on
scalability.
so many podcasts now. Like this Thursday, I'm going to Phoenix. I have 2. I'm hanging out with Andy Elliott for like an hour. He wants to chill. So like, dude, all these people that I'm getting connected with, they're just like, yo, he's the low ticket goat. Just talk to him. And like, I'm just like going around and just meeting new people, dude. It's sick.
That's awesome.
Like, it's cool. So it's something that really helped me out a ton because I was so behind the scenes. I just thought making money without being in person was cool. And then I was like, dude, we're making more money now being in person.
Yeah. Dude,
More
I love
impact.
that.
Yeah.
Because some people will hear the 450 and that just like it's too much for them. Like it just like freaks them out.
Dude, it's all about like, if you look at a buying decision, like money likes speed. Yeah, we've heard that, but like make calculated choices. Like, is it valuable to be in rooms with people who are worth $5 billion? I would say, yeah. I mean, like, it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
But people sit there and they just look at the number. They're like, oh, this invoice is so much. And I'm like, no, dude, it's just because you never touched that kind of money or you never saw somebody who made that kind of money.
Tell them about, I heard you on a podcast one time actually talk about your dad and a trip you wanted to take him on, something along those lines.
Yeah, dude. In January, the Ritz-Carlton recently released these like yacht trips. They're like cruises, but they cap it at 200 people. Okay. And you know, it's not a cheap trip. You know, it's like 48 grand. It was 24,000 a person. If you go on a cruise, you have to pay double occupancy if you go alone. Yeah. So I paid double occupancy because I don't have no girlfriend at the time. Like, this was just like a month and a half ago. So I go and I text my dad while I call him. I'm like, hey man, I'm going on this trip. Like, I want you to come with me. Like, I think you need a little bit of a break. You know, you've been teaching, blah, blah, blah. They do part-time teaching. And I was like, dude, man, come on the trip. He's like, all right, send me the details. Like, forward me the email with the, you know, airport, where I have to fly out of. I sent him the trip itinerary. Dude, I fucked up because I sent him the email with the invoice attached. Yeah. And he freaking opens the PDF, and he didn't want to go because it was too expensive. I'm like, dude, I already paid. Like, I'm going to go alone. Just come with me. I already paid it. And he's like, nah, dude, I can't. It's just too much. And I'm like, no, dude. Paying. He wasn't paying. I'm like, dude, you don't have to pay. Just like, I'll get the flight. Just like, come with me. Enjoy the time for a week. It's a very nice yacht, dude. It's sick, by the way. I went on it. So worth it. Yeah. Dude, the people on there, too. Like, obviously, they have money. And I met a couple people there. 2 of them are my clients now. So I went on the trip, and I made the money back. So I was like, it's insane to me how, like, you can't wrap your head around that. Like, I did it as a gift. I didn't really do it as a gift, actually. I did it for myself. Then I was like, shit, I got to pay for 2 people anyway. I might as well bring my dad. Yeah. And he just couldn't wrap his head around it. And that really pissed me off because I was like, dude, like, how can people go through their lives like that? Like, how? And then, dude, even for Christmas, like, we were hanging out for Christmas, and you know, we do, like, little gifts. Nothing insane. But, like, I just gave everybody $300. You know, we have a family of 7-ish that were over. I just gave everybody $300. I was like, here, 300, just go. And they're all like, no, I don't want that. It's too much. I'm like, what do you mean? That's not even a lot of money. And then I'm not sitting there thinking, and I'm like, damn, dude, like all of my family members are broke. So like $300 to them is a lot of money. And I was like, shit, dude, like sometimes I don't understand that. But like then I sit there and I'm like, that's really not though. Yeah. Like I'm not bold for giving that. Yeah. I just don't understand. And it just bothers me because they see me online and like my parents will always text me, are you okay? Like be careful. They think that me making this money is like this weird sleazy thing. It's really bad, dude. And my dad will always text me, I hope you're okay. Like you're traveling, like be safe. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm going on a podcast. They're like, yeah, just be careful. Like who are these people? And I'm like, yeah, Dad, love you. Talk to you soon. Like they really think that people who are making money are sleazy because what do they look at? The news, politicians, they think they're sleazy. So if they make money, like, dude, these correlations are insane.
It's crazy. And it's a real thing, dude. And there's so many people, I promise you, that are listening to this right now that will say two things. One, they don't believe it. Two, they agree with it, but they don't think it applies to them. It does. It applies to you at a certain level. At a certain level, right now, currently in your life, you look at somebody who has billions, whatever, like Cardone, 5 billion, whatever,
yeah,
right?
Dude.
And you're like, that's too much. That's excess.
Yeah.
That plain too much. There is a point where you actually believe the exact same thing, which is when you really identify that, well, that's your next unlock.
Yeah, dude, it's nuts. And like last night, we were in the car, and I got a speeding ticket. I haven't been pulled over in 5 years.
Yeah.
I've been pulled over, not just given a ticket, though. I got pulled over for going 92 and a 70.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? And then I get pulled over, and the guy just walks up to me. He's like, is this your car? I was like, yeah, it's my car. And he's like, how old are you? He's like flashing the flashlight everywhere. I'm like, dude, it's a Bentley. Relax. And then I had my friend with me who's like 19 years old. He's my video guy. Yeah. And I had to drop him off at his parents' house. And like, he's like, okay, let me get your license. I'm like, okay. I give him the license. He comes back with this sheet thing. He's like, yeah, like, here's your ticket. You can pay for it. And I was like, all right, like, how much is it? He's like, $200. I'm like, okay, I pull up my Amex card being an asshole. I just, like, give it to him. I'm like, dude, just, like, swipe my card. And he's like, dude, that's not how it works. And I'm like, you're telling me that I have to go send in a check now for $200? I'm like, dude, that's not worth my time. So I crumple up, I throw it behind me, and the cop was pissed. And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to pay it. He's like, you're going to get a suspended license. I'm like, then someone else on my team will pay it. Like, for me to go pay that $200 ticket takes too much time. Oh, it's just not worth my time. And he was so pissed.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, it's only $200. And his face, dude, David got it on video. He was like, yeah. And like, you could just tell he hated his life. And I was like, dude, like a guy's probably making 80 grand a year. He's pissed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Terrible, dude. And I'm like, what the hell?
What made you different? What made you like know that you could break the barriers? Because obviously you didn't grow up in a home that had tons of wealth. So it's like, what made you, what wired you differently, I guess?
I think it was all the jobs that I worked, watching the bosses have authority. Everybody else, they would get authority and they were like, oh, we have to listen to him. But I looked at it like, dude, I want people to listen to me. Like, I just switched my thinking. Yeah. I was like, why is everybody listening to him? I didn't even want to listen to him. Yeah. And I was like, everybody else is over here, like, going hand over foot, you know, knee down, helping this guy. And I'm like, yeah, dude, he's a good leader, but, like, I want that. Yeah. Like, I want people to be passionate about what I'm saying, what ideas I have, what I'm thinking about. I want to be in that position.
See, here's what's interesting about you, though, bro, because you said, because to me, that is because I can relate to that, too, by the way. I can definitely relate to that. It's like, no, I want to be that person. Mm-hmm. Like, that's an identity thing. But you said you struggled with self-identity and that self-identity issue. So was it just a different level that you were at that now you had to unlock something new? Yeah,
also, dude, I was just mad about like little things. Like we would all leave work and he's leaving in a Benz and I'm driving a Ford Focus and I'm like, this is a piece of crap. I used to get mad about that. Like I use it as anger. I was like, dude, this guy is driving such cool stuff and like he's got a nice watch. I'm like, why can't I have those things? Like, what the hell is this? Yeah. And I started to get aggravated with that. It drove me to be like, dude, I'm tired of this. Like, driving that car with no touchscreen, crappy oil, like, dude, this sucks. Yeah. Like, I deserve more. And honestly, sometimes I would hear him say stuff, and I was like, dude, that's a stupid idea. I'd rather do this instead. And I was like, why do I keep challenging authority? Challenging authority made me realize, like, I just have to be my own boss. I can't do this stuff because I'm going to get fired. Yeah. And dude, I got fired from all the jobs I had. After I started having that switch in thinking, I just got fired because I would challenge everything. And I was like, dude, I just can't have a job.
And that's a powerful thing, though, because, I mean, just the statement that you said, I deserve more. I deserve more. Like, if people just say that, and then if you struggle wondering why you deserve more, ask. You're a genius at what you do because you ask the questions that need to be asked. And I'm talking business-wise. I believe it's the same in your life. It's like, I deserve more. Well, okay, why do I deserve more? How do I get more? How do I make that happen? Why wouldn't I deserve that? It's like you ask the questions, and then it makes it very clear, and then you go do it.
Yeah.
It's the devil works in obscurity. The devil works in making it feel like it's too complicated. Like, just even look at the marketing stuff that you talked about. The devil works in, oh my God, it's overwhelming. It's really not. If you really actually just took the time, if you took a day, dude, and you sat down and you broke down what Jason just broke down with you, those steps, and you're like, okay, if you took a day of your life, you'd be able to put so much of that shit together.
Yeah, it's really not that hard.
Most people won't take a day.
Dude, I'm able to push out offers same day. I can write VSLs, make the slides, record it, and launch it same day.
Because you're hyper-focused on that.
And people don't want to pay for that skill set, though. They're like, oh, I'll do it myself. I don't like what he's doing. He's doing things too quick. He needs to take more time to do it. I'm like, no, you're just not good. Like, that's the problem.
Dude, because they don't know. I tell you, when I started, I paid a company. I paid somebody just like you, bro, to come help me with all of it. Bro, probably the best business decision that I've ever made, because I understood this. Anything that I know marketing, I learned from them. Shay and Joe is what their names are. I love them to death. They're still part of my business today. Love them. And I surround myself with marketers. You know, Andrew is Drew and Jay. It's like, they're brilliant. And like, they see things from a different level. And it's like, that money spent is, dude, the ROAS is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. As long as you actually put it into work and you execute on what they're teaching you. Right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's all it's
about. Same with you, man. Yeah. So how can people get a hold of you? To wrap this up, how can people get a hold of you first? And then I'm going to ask you one more follow-up question.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram at the Jason Wojo, TikTok as well at the Jason Wojo. I'm also on LinkedIn, YouTube, and also you'll probably see a bunch of fan pages of me on TikTok because we're doing that method right now. So yeah, dude, that's like another side note. Like, that shit crushes. Like the TikTok fan pages.
Your most.
That gym video got 800 million views.
800 million?
Across all the duets and the videos on all the fan pages. Yeah, dude.
That number is crazy. 800 million.
It blew up on Reddit at first. It got 80 million in 3 hours on Reddit.
Holy shit.
26 million the first hour. Then after that, it went to Twitter. Got another 40, 50 million. And then Bryce Hall made a video, got 55 million on TikTok. And then Joey Swole made a couple videos. That got 30-something million. And then Penguin Z made a video on YouTube. That got 14 million. Then a response got 10. Dude, it just went all over.
Crazy, dude. And that isn't just luck. It's by design. And then you replicated it over and over again. So how do people learn about your events that you're doing?
Yeah, so if they go to scaleyouraddsevents.com, also they can go to official jasonwojo.com. That's my personal website where they can see all the dates. They can find a city near them. We're going to Tampa. We're just in Miami, West Palm Beach, Atlanta. I think I said Orlando already. Jacksonville, New York, Austin, and then Dallas.
Dude, you're all over. Yeah, you're doing a bunch.
Yeah.
Dude, hit him up, man. That knowledge that you'll gain of understanding how to scale and grow your business through paid ads is massive. Yeah. And then the last question to wrap up, bro. All the success you've had, 26 years old. What's next for Jason Wojo? Like, if next time you're on the podcast, what are we going to be talking about that you just did?
Next, I mean, right now we're trying to, number one is scale the agency out more with the right leadership and the right team. So getting an office building. I want to have at least 20, 30 sales reps at the events and on the phones. I want to have events of 500 plus people or more. And then 4 is probably, I just want to have this is a weird goal, but it's something that I've always wanted. And dude, I'll pay for it, is I want to be in every single person that everyone follows phone. I want every single person's phone number. And that's the thing I've been chasing for the last 3 months that has made me more money than ever before.
Say that again. You want...
Like every single person that we watch, like Andy Elliott, Tony Robbins, all these guys, Gary Vee, I want all their phone numbers. That's all I care about. Bro. That's all I care about. Because, dude, that is just... it is probably the most valuable income-based asset that people can have, is having people in your network who you can call and get a quick answer, who appreciate you, who you provide value to. I'm not just asking for that stuff without providing value, but like those are things I value more than getting a stupid retainer or getting paid for something. I don't care about that shit anymore.
Yep.
It's all about, hey, if I have someone's phone number, hey, what's up, man? I'm going to be in Austin this weekend. Like, let's get dinner. That's all I care about.
Yep.
That's
and
it.
What you said is critical. It's not just that you peer pressure them into a corner and ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's you want to actually be able to call that person, and it's you only really get there by at
Dude,
that
just
level.
giving with no expectation.
That's it.
Just give, and that's all I'm doing.
Say it again.
Just give with no expectation.
And people don't believe
man.
it. It's hard for people to wrap their head around it, but that is it. That's it. I'll tell you, I love Ed Milet, and I've followed Ed Milet, everything he's done for a long ass time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I put Ed Milet's phone number in my phone, I was like,
Dude.
I was so pumped, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sick, dude.
That's a great goal. That doesn't seem silly. That seems, I love that, man.
Yeah.
I actually need to define, I should define who those people are that I truly want that connection with.
Yeah.
I love that goal.
Yeah.
Sweet. Bro, thank you for taking the time to be here in office and to
course,
share your knowledge, your wisdom with everybody. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Thanks, bro. Thanks for having me.
Hey, I know y'all out there gained value from this episode. Go share this episode. Go follow Jason if you don't already. And then go share all of this stuff so that other people can learn as well. And then live always with aloha. Peace.